Ready for what? Yes, Phil.
No, Phelps.
Yes.
Oh man,
I like it.
You know what they are?
they're party pants
They're my party pants. You know why I've got them on?
because we're having a party.
Having a party, I guess.
We're having a party.
Do you know what? I haven't even put my headphones in yet. Is that bad?
Probably.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, without you.
Through the speaker on my phone.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're on loudspeaker. All the fans are probably like, "Meh, this sounds horrible." I'm gonna have to take off charge. Oh, 95%.
My party pants are on because I'm getting really excited for Doncaster.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Those party pants have saw too much action in Doncaster.
Well, I've put them on just for Lisa Burrell.
Oh, just
because you know she gets all excited when I get my my party pants on.
It's just wrong. Yeah. Right, okay. So this was supposed to be a podcast, and we couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery because we've got someone booked for a podcast tonight to record, and we forgot.
Oh,
Hoslot lost the plot earlier. He got all excited. Yeah, you don't even know.
I told you.
Yeah,
I knew we had someone for tonight. Who was it?
I can't tell you. It's a secret. So,
Samantha.
No. Chris.
Chris who?
Chris Ottawa.
Ottawa. Who's that?
Who's that?
He just plays with crocodiles. So basically, Danny was like, Mike's booked someone. Have a word with him. I spoke to Mike, and Mike was like, Nah. No one. But yeah, tonight's been saved. We don't have to do a live show for 2 hours.
I was looking forward to it.
You didn't tell us this.
Right, okay. No. First Ian. Right, have that. Yeah. And have that.
Everybody was getting excited.
For a 2 hour thing.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we can do it next week.
I think we should. I think we should definitely do a live podcast where we go through our features and that. Well, I don't know what everybody thinks.
No, because all you're going to see is me doing this.
Careful, mate. You'll knock yourself out.
It's a big book.
I think it's fucking massive.
Right, okay. So we've got some topics to talk about, which...
No,
we're not doing it.
No.
So I thought we could start, obviously, with the spring coming up. Talking about... shut up, Danny.
No.
Get rid of him. Kick him off.
Okay.
Go on, Hoss. What did you want to say, mate?
Basically, I wanted to talk about UK herps and coming into the spring. Coming into the spring, obviously, we're going to start seeing them again. And there's a couple of rules that we have to follow. So
don't eat them.
You don't eat them. So John Campbell actually put this up before the show started. So I'm just going to share that. So don't pick them up and disturb them just for social media likes. You don't need to pick them up. You can take a photo, and plus as well, it's definitely gospel and definitely needs to be followed. Because Julian Clare
said what he said.
Yeah, man.
There's a few other things as well. I started going out last year looking for sort of like adders for the first time, and I know John straight away he was like, "Don't post where you see them because there's people out there who'll go and kill them." And we've spoke about this on the podcast, haven't we?
We have, yeah. It's really nice to go out and see them and to find them, and you get really excited every time. What is wrong with you?
It's like the little insolent child, isn't he, in the classroom?
All in favour of Danny Wells going on an alcohol ban.
I've literally had 2 sips. I just,
Yeah,
I
but-
just
but
like,
that's all you need. You know what you
yeah,
like.
checking out this new selfie thing. It's like, I just need to turn my other lights on.
It's
I've
because
actually
he's-
got my legs crossed.
It's
like,
because he
properly
saw
crossed.
that. Tim's give him a big head. That's what
But
it
from
is.
the love the light and nah, I don't know if
Nah.
I'm not liking it. It's not my.
I
It's
like
not my.
it. Looks good.
It's
Danny, I
fucking
just
up my
disagree
mojo.
with what anybody says.
Oh yeah, because he has to be fucking different.
But just going back to what you were saying, Haas, as well. You know, don't post where you do see these animals, because there is people out there, whether they don't know what they're doing and they go out just to pick them up and get a decent picture or something and move them. But I was in a location not too far away from us, Haas, last year, and I saw that somebody had typed up and laminated a poster and stuck it to the gate of this area.
Yes, I remember you showing me that.
And it says, beware, big exclamation marks. There are adders in this location. They are just coming out of hibernation and they are full of venom. You know, they're full of venom all the time. It's not like they're full of venom waiting to release it into the next thing. Please watch your dogs. And it went on a big spiel about how dangerous these animals are. And I felt like going back home, typing one up saying, you know, keep your dogs on a lead. You are walking through a species that's lived here for hundreds of thousands of years. Do you know what I mean? And you're walking through its habitat. Please put, you know, your dogs are you know, frightening them.
The thing is, though, as well, it's people, when you go to these kind of parks and stuff, you need to stick to the paths. And they're where the footfall are. And the adders, 9 times out of 10, are nowhere near the paths. So don't go off into the vegetation, trampling it like a dickhead and ruining the environment. And then you won't come across her. And yeah, like Beth said, keep your dogs on bloody leads.
Yeah,
I disagree with that one. I disagree with one thing there.
Well,
adders actually really like the edges of paths.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
because they'll sit right in the opening.
Yeah, but if you've got people walking up and down it all day, they're going to choose the opening in the heather rather than next to that path. It makes more sense. But yeah, you may find them in paths. Before we get on to talking about other topics, Daniel Hall's got a decent thing, and this is probably the reason why Danny's not.
I bet he has. You seen it, Hoss? You dirty boy.
I'm not even going. This is probably the excuse Danny Wells is going to use for not coming to Doncaster. But are you worried about Doncaster with coronavirus going on? Obviously, Ham has been cancelled because of this.
Yeah.
So I think everyone needs to be sensible. If you've got a cold or you're a bit tight around the chest, don't turn up.
I did see something quite funny the other day when it said there's something like, I don't know, 110,000 cases of people with HIV in this country. We're still going around shagging every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Do you know what I mean? But of course, we've got 35 people with coronavirus, and we're in an absolute meltdown. I suppose it's just a new thing. It's a little bit frightening.
26,000
35. Oh yeah,
dying of bloody cancer, and we're all still smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's but yeah, I'm not bothered. To be honest, I think if you drink Corona, then you become immune.
Yeah, it's like drinking and eating honey, and you become immune to hay fever.
And then bee stings as well.
Yeah,
eat honey.
See?
Yeah, that's science.
No, but yeah, I love it.
I have heard if you eat honey from the local area, that you do not struggle, or you're better off if you suffer with hay fever. It helps.
Okay, we've got a class clown here.
Is that not exactly what I just said?
Oh, sorry, did you, mate? Sorry.
So Mike, this Danny here doing the comment, he's funnier than our Danny.
Don't yourself, so I just have asthma.
He's not funnier. Danny, you better shit yourself, because I've got coronavirus and I'm just going to cough in your face. Fuck your asthma. Coronavirus. That's what I'm going to do.
Right, got it. Anyways, Doncaster's coming up. We're going to be there. We're getting there the Saturday before. We are actually doing a show. Yeah.
What's that?
Shall we tell people what we're doing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where did you find him?
He's
Who?
on one tonight. He is,
Who are
isn't he?
you?
He's proper on one.
He's
So
always on one when we do the live show.
Is this new lighting?
just you know what? Just for
Lighting.
2 seconds, he's gone. Right.
If you notice how Cam Danny goes on the live show.
I've noticed how campy he is 24/7. To be honest.
He's really camping.
Oh God!
So
I
right.
literally cracked myself up.
Right, okay, so basically, we are going to be. Let's talk about reptiles. We're talking about reptiles.
No.
Stop it! Fuck off! Go on. Right. So basically, we are going to be doing a show from the IHS. We did want to do it live. It won't be live the first one because of technical things.
I can just see what Danny's doing in the back.
So we will be doing that. So if you see us, say hi. If we use this with the camera, don't do something stupid. Or do something stupid. Do something stupid.
Do something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
If you can do anything half as stupid as me, we'll give you a £5. Good luck.
Hoss, you're driving this time as well.
Matt, I'm walking.
No, you're driving. I've drove loads. You've only drove once. I've drove loads.
I've really enjoyed getting the train last.
But who's got the flashing light that I stole from last time?
Me. It's my boat.
Really?
Yeah, it's still in my boat.
Put it up on the live stream next week. I want to see it. Just have it in the background.
Peter's coming to join us, isn't he? In Doncaster. Love you too, Pete. So we're gonna be in the Hilton the night before, aren't we? There's usually a few of us that get together. You're more than welcome to come and join us. We usually have a right laugh. I mean, last time we just spent the whole night crying, making fun of each other, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Can I just say as well that you people that are like from Northern Ireland mainly, don't keep buying us drinks because we've got a show to do at 6:30 in the morning. So don't even go there.
You can talk for yourself, mate.
Accepted.
Buy me drinks all night. I will be having a couple before we do the live show at 6:30 in the morning.
No, you're not allowed to drink.
Just to top up.
You're going to be there going, son, they've left me.
I remember that. That's fucking brilliant. Oh, don't worry, Sam. I'll sort him out.
Exactly. They say literally, he was, Sam, I don't know where they are.
But
Danny walks over and goes, Mike, what are you doing?
Poor Sam, 2:30 in the morning. Can you just sort him out for me, Danny? Yeah, I'll sort him out. Get that banner out of my face. Get it out.
I love it. I think we should just keep on putting them all up, I do.
I think that you should find a babysitter and come out.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Zero excuse.
You can put your 3 kids in our room and yeah, there's a few animals that'll be in there that they can play with.
I'll bring some toys. In fact, you know that Komodo teddy I've got, I'll bring that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, let's get on to reptiles because this is about reptiles. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about morals and ethics and how we feel about keeping reptiles.
No, sorry, Huss. It's ethics.
Ethics.
Yeah.
For the 700th time, ethics.
I can't help it. I'm stupid.
We were talking about ethnics, and the Japanese actually. I don't know why.
Ethics, Huss.
It's not racist. It's not racist.
So basically, keep it together, man. Keep it together.
Come on.
So, how I used to keep when I first started keeping to how I keep now is vastly different. Joe, I'm not being funny, mate, but you can't say the word cunt in public. That's why you're offended. We can.
Why is he offended?
Because he's American.
Because he's ugly.
He's not ugly.
No, he's not. He's really good looking. Shut up.
Yeah, so basically how I keep reptiles now, and I keep looking at my enclosures and kind of go, I can do better and I can do more. And a lot of people got in touch and gave me bits of advice and things that they've tried and done differently. So do you guys feel any different now with all of that kind of discussion about how you keep personally? I know you, Mike, you've just kind of like, you've upped the ante a bit.
Yeah, I'm still, I keep on talking about it and I haven't got round to it yet, but I'm still desperate to get a UV. I'll pop round yours today, Hoss. For the snakes, but I also want to put live plants in there. I don't want a natural enclosure, but I do want to put potted plants in there. I've actually just put some fake bonsai plants in 2 of the vibs, the ones with the IJs in, and I tell you what, mate, straight on them. There was like, you know, it's investigation and using them to climb around. I've always got branches and hides. You touched on, you know, my hides today, where you went, oh, they're just like really basic.
He touched your hides.
He's always trying to touch on them. You know,
it's just because they're. You know what? I use cork bark, and it's about as natural as your plastic is. You know what I mean? It's not from where the animals are from. It just looks nicer.
But how much do you pay? I mean, let's say for a decent bit of cork bark to use as a hide for an adult carpet python, you're talking a 30 quid, mate.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just want to show. No, stop.
Oh, you hideous human being!
I just wanted to show you guys my enclosure.
No one cares.
I showed you earlier.
No, get off. Disgusting.
But I can't get away from it.
Yeah, so you've got sort of like a shelved 3x2x3.
Yeah.
You've got potted plants in there. I think you've got a pothos in there, haven't you, Hoss? And then this other thing here that we couldn't remember the name of.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking great.
No.
Your glass is upside down.
Yeah, the handles are there. Fuck off. But you know, there's not much going on with it as such. But it does help. I'm just gonna knock it off now. Leave.
You've got those cool little UV. Go on, Danny.
Well, I for one, I'm absolutely fuming at the minute. As you guys know, I'm literally like the bio natural setup god. Yeah, we all know this, right? Of course, everyone knows this. But but my current predicament has me keeping like a lot more simply at the minute, like a lot more simplistic.
I'm in exactly the same position now.
Don't you talk? Your poor mouth. No, but when basically the whole idea is I'm keeping as good as I can at the minute with what I've got and what I've been given. What is that? Is that a foghorn?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, RDAP. Pest away. You should probably be careful spraying that.
Yeah. Next to you.
Next to your animals. But obviously, when I buy a house, Molly doesn't know this yet, but I'm gonna like build like huge enclosures like into the house. Don't tell her yet. Don't tell her, will you? Don't tell her. I'm gonna have a catio out the back as well. Yay! He's Dan. No, he's Dan.
You're Danny.
I'm Danny.
Dan.
You're Danny.
We used to have a natural keeping reptile group, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I'm looking forward to like getting real back into it, but at the minute it's sort of like a little bit on hold. But I do want to show everybody something. If you do keep a little bit more like simplistic, or if you're having to keep like a few animals in tubs or something like that, I've got a really cool idea. So can I have like 1 minute and I'll be back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank God.
He was just about to say "love you, bye" then, and he was like,
he doesn't have to ask twice, does he? He's just gone.
He's gone. Just going back to that point, mate, where you were saying about the cork bark enclosures, they do look more natural. And I just use a sort of like a tub. I think I pay like £3 for it, and then I just cut a hole out. But they use that as a hide. But if I'm honest with you, they only go in there, I would say, for probably a few days after the fed.
Yeah.
Then they're sat on top. Then they sit on top of it. Yeah, and they just uses it as more like a shelf than anything.
Found, to be honest as well, it's like with that carpet python, like cork bark big. Not without paying a small fortune for it as well.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
So it'd be nice to see some ideas for more naturalistic looking hides that are cheaper than cork bark.
This is fucking DIY fucking 101. Right. Hello.
Yeah. They
Right.
do them all different sizes, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, these they're a quid in B&M.
Yeah.
A fucking quid, right? Look at the size of it. Literally get it up my head in it. I've got a quite small head, I'm not gonna lie, but it's big enough to get in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A quid, right? A quid. So you spend 15 quid, you get 15 of them. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy, right? And you know the good thing is, right? Look. I'm gonna show you now.
Oh, he's broke it.
No, look. Look, this is just like a genuinely the most regular fucking pair of household scissors that money can buy. Yeah?
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them. They're not like, oh my god, super sharp scissors. No, they're not. Nothing like that. They're just.
Not you got off the paying channel. Blue badge. Your blue
What?
Peter badge is hanging out, mate.
Hell yeah! Right, you're all gonna thank.
Have you got one you prepared earlier?
I actually have. I've got a few. Like this. I mean, this is like. I mean, you could use this as like if you stuck that together, look, like that. So it's a little bit smaller. You could use it again as a pot and like put it in your substrate and plant something in there, and then you got a hand. Yeah. That goes over there.
I can see a new feature coming on. Can you?
DIY with Danny. Right, you ready? Right, you ready? What? Look. I can't. I'm not very good at this.
You know what? We asked him to do an unboxing video the once. Never again.
But this.
I like this. Mate, I'm with you. Look at that.
What is it?
It's a green
Roman helmet.
It's a green, simple, naturalistic looking hide. Yeah, and it's clean.
Why is it naturalistic looking, Dana?
Because it's clean.
Because it's green.
Yeah,
it's
like,
green.
It's like moss. It's moss colour, isn't it?
Here's my green naturalistic Lamborghini.
Exactly. See, look at it. Right, look, it's amazing. Look, and you can make the hole as big as you want. And you know what? The good thing is, right? And this is like the best bit. Yeah, even like the bits that you've like, not cut very well. They're not sharp because the bucket is like so soft.
It's like made of rubber, isn't it? It's a soft plastic, isn't it?
It's like not sharp. It's like no sharp edges. And I haven't filed that at all. I've literally just cut that. That is literally ready. Just go straight in your tank or in your tub or anything like that. Put that in your tub, yeah. Because listen, here's brain box. Ready? So you put that in your tub, right? And your snake can go in it and chill like a hide.
How does it go in it?
Like yeah, but also it can sit on top, so it's got a nice little heat gradient, hasn't it? Yeah,
hey,
so
I've got another idea.
You could put that like underneath, like a secondary heat source.
No,
maybe not something too hot.
I've got a question, a really important question.
Hang on, just while it's on that.
Yeah.
You don't cut the hide bit round. Turn it round the other way. Fill it with water. What you got?
A water bowl. Yeah, but no, but you've ruined it. What you said?
No, my question is.
No, what you're supposed to do is, here's your hide, sliver, right? Here's your hide, yeah, and you get. Oh, I ain't got any more. You get another one, and sit it on top of the other one. So you've got a water bowl on top of a hide. Thank me later.
Now, my question is, right, now, I know Molly bought that bucket for a reason. Does she know you just cut it up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she does. Shut up.
You can get them in all different sizes, Danny, so I think you're onto a winner there.
Yeah, like, genuinely, like, like, I know it's funny, but a quid, like that, that's an absolute bargain. I can barely pick up water bowls in the range for a fucking quid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? That are any good. They're
they're
brilliant. They're genuinely brilliant. And the good thing is because you can cut them down, they're quite high, and you can get different sizes. You cut them down to any size you want. Have for any size snake.
You know what?
Water bowls as well.
Bethy's on it tonight. She's been on you all fucking episode, mate.
I just need to point out that that's Beth.
Yes,
Who's Beth?
You said Becky. I'm pretty sure you said Becky.
I said Beth, didn't I?
I'm going back to listen to that. I need to.
Okay, before we carry on, Calvin, thank you for listening again. He tuned in last week. So you're looking for enclosures for bearded dragon, 5 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot at a decent price, but he doesn't want to pay £100. So you know, he can make them himself. Any suggestions?
I mean, the cheapest way that you guys build your own tanks, don't you, out of OSB?
So yeah. quick 5 by 2 by 2, 50. Materials, 90 quid.
Yeah,
done.
He's there.
Yeah.
No offense, but if you don't want to pay hundreds of pounds for something you can build yourself, then build it yourself.
Yeah.
yeah. It's not
literally.
I will say, if you do want help with the cutting sheet, you can literally get a cutting sheet, take it to B&Q, they'll cut it, you take it home, get your dad's drill, and
there is other DIY shops available.
Yeah. I use the sawmills and I use B&Q. Home base apparently, but our local home base doesn't cut wood.
Timber.
I thought home base went out of business.
No, home base is still going. But yeah, literally, I use float glass. I use 6mm rather than getting toughened and 4mm. I use 6mm. Yeah, try and get recycled float as well. That'll also keep the cost down. We all use OSB. Me and Danny use OSB. Use 4mm.
4mm float.
4mm toughened.
Oh, toughened.
Have the edges shaved. Good. You're all good.
No, so I use 6mm float, and I have all the edges harassed.
Yeah, that's what I do now. I used to have 6mm toughened and get all the edges polished all round.
Cost a fortune, and honest to God,
if
the animal breaks 6mm glass, it deserves to get out. It's tried hard.
It won't get out of 6mm. Do you know why you have toughened as opposed to float?
It's the way when it does break, it goes in.
So it's to save people. So big shop fronts, if it's toughened, when it breaks, it smashes into millions of pieces and doesn't fall down in half a sheet and chops somebody's head off. That's the reason. Yeah, it shatters.
Yeah,
and it fries life out of you when it goes, doesn't it?
Yeah. How do we seal our vivs? I used to use pond paint or poly resin. That's what I've used in the past. For this lot I've just done, I'm using door paint. I'll get the tub of paint, 2 secs.
Do you know what? I have just dropped a bit of a bollock. So I've just knocked up my last one. Yeah. I put it's a 4 by 2 by 2. 4 by 2 by 2.5, and I put a central divider in so that I can put 2 younger snakes in, and then when they're older, I've still got the viv. I take the central divider out and then build another one. Yeah. I didn't seal. Well, I didn't. It's MFC, so it's sealed, but I didn't silicone around the edges. And for some reason, the one IJ loves picking up its water bowl and throwing it around the place. So I need to get her a heavier one, but obviously the water's got into the corner. I can already see it just starting to blow a little bit. So next time I clean them out, I'm going to be going around and siliconing them. It is important that you seal all the edges.
Yeah, so I use, this is just an exterior wood and metal paint. This is black from Home Base. I think it's about 12 quid for the can. So
all of the DIY shops are available.
Yes.
That is pretty much a cheap version of Hammerite.
Yeah, pretty much. Or Ron Seal, Diamond Hard.
Yeah.
It's a very similar product. So it's waterproof. It's not water resistant. So I give it a couple of coats of that, and then what I do then is I do the floor. I do more layers on the floor, and then I get black silicone, and I just go around the edges. Because I've made that mistake as well with not siliconing.
Yeah, and I haven't really had any issues because I don't spray my tanks. So I don't really have any issues, but obviously this one particular snake just likes to throw its bowl around.
Yeah, man. I use glass as well, not
real glass.
Plexiglass. Yeah, real glass. Plexiglass. It can scratch quite easy, can't it? plexi.
Perspex.
Perspex, we call it. Yeah.
No, don't use Perspex. It's hideous.
And
it's
it'll
not nice.
move quite a bit with heat, won't it? So you could, if ever it shrunk, just by a mil or two, your glass could pop out whilst you're out, and you've lost your animal.
Well, technically, it shouldn't shrink, but it will expand.
Well, if it can expand, it'll shrink, mate. Can't it?
No.
So
it's formed. No, it's formed at a certain temperature. It won't shrink any smaller than it is when you buy it. But it will expand.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if it expands because of the heat, if that heat drops, it could drop back down to its original size. Or something.
Oh yeah, it will drop to its original size, but it won't get any lower than that.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Either way, use real glass. What else do we do? That's it, really, isn't it, with VIVs?
Yeah, I just use Ron Seal, yacht paint, yacht varnish.
Yeah, I think
they're all the same. They're all the same, pretty much. They're all the same sort of properties, just different colours.
It just stinks, man. Yacht varnish stinks really bad.
Yeah, I actually fucked up with my last one because I put it on really thick in the bottom, and I sort of put it on real thick, and just let it swim about in the bottom.
It takes days, man.
Mate, it's still not set. That was 6
months
ago.
Honestly, wow.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
it's got to go. It's got to go in with a paintbrush. And it's got to go in layers.
Thin layers.
Once it's done, brilliant. I mean, my GTP's tanks held up for like 3 years now. Not a tiny bit of damage on it, and that's only had 2 coats.
I also find when you're painting it as well, take your time. You know what I mean? Because we always want to get it done because painting's boring. But take your time, especially with OSB as well. Because if you just go across slowly, you don't miss anything. Whereas if you're fucking flapping about like a dickhead, it takes longer.
Beth's asked if the heat paint is heat resistant. It's a good point, actually. I think your seals are more heat resistant than paint. That could bubble, but
I mean, when you both. I mean, you got to think that hosses, if that's for an outside door,
yes, if that's enough. If that's a south-facing door and the sun's on it all the time, that the surface temperature of the door can get quite hot. You know, I know that's when I put my hand on the front door. It's been fairly warm.
It should bear up, yeah.
If you ever see a decorator stripping paint, I mean, he has to use his blowtorch to get that to a point where it's going to strip off.
Yeah.
So, really, you know, if it's stripping your paint, your animal's dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think you'd have to worry too much about that. But it's a valid point, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, let's just move this forward then and bring up the last thing that we were going to talk about, and that is, what is it? Okay, I've got a blonde moment.
I love the way he does that. And it is, you know.
I know, yeah.
No. It's such an amateur.
Does the hobby need... You need a fucking attitude adjustment. Does the hobby need an attitude adjustment?
Yes.
I think it's better than it has been. I think it's better in the last year or so.
I think since we came along, it's been great.
Possibly. I think since Facebook took all the groups away and everything had to restart, I think that was a really good thing for the hobby. I know a lot of people say the complete opposite, and I'm going to get some shit for that. But I think I
agree. No, I agree. You know what it did? Do you know what it did?
It broke the groups up.
No, it took everyone down a fucking peg. It took all the people. It took all the
apart
admin.
From you.
Fuck, you ain't going to take me down a peg. It took all the admin that run these fucking groups. That is like, I'm fucking right. Don't fucking disagree with me. Facebook went, shut the fuck up, ban, and just literally shut down all these groups, and everyone went, what am I without my group? Nothing.
The only thing that I don't like about it is when you're looking for animals to buy.
Oh, he's been talking a fair bit tonight, look.
Yeah, when you're looking,
he's going to yawn now.
Yeah. When you're looking for animals to buy, or you get animals to sale, it's like, where the fuck do you look now? Because before I had a group and it was just like, oh, that's cool. But at the same time now, you don't get people constantly, what are you doing? And it's harder to get animals now. which I think is a good thing because people don't just buy willy-nilly now.
Hoss, what's
much,
that in
maybe.
what's that in that back tank?
I was given that.
What is it? What's that thing there, though? What's that white thing? What's that white thing just there? What is it?
Yes, the number of fucktards who are internet experts. Yeah,
There's one.
yeah, man.
Biggest one in the hobby. There.
Here's another one.
I don't get involved in anything.
No,
it's what Calvin said.
It's a very powerful thing to go, I'm a fucktard. And what?
Yeah,
I've got a big ego.
Calvin said, I personally have found it hard in the hobby being a younger herper, and a lot of the groups didn't help at all. Only bully, no help at all. And that's one of the reasons
that out on our group.
That's one of the reasons why we started what we do and wanted a community behind it, because we've got control. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to upset other people. Now, we don't care if you don't play with the, if you don't behave yourself, you get fucked out. And it's not because we're God complexes, it's because we want to create a safe environment where we can educate each other and learn. Now, I learn all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I know, Mike, you've been keeping reptiles a lot longer than I have, but there's things that I've told you and educated you on, vice versa. You know, when it comes to all the bioactive stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Danny's taught me loads, and I've learned loads off all the listeners as well in the community group. And we've had one or two instances where we've had to like step in as admins and boot someone out because they've been dickheads.
There's literally been one or two.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's great. And we've got the listeners to thank for that as well, because you're not being dickheads.
Yeah. Daniel Hall here says the worst thing is when someone can't ask a genuine question without being savage for not really already knowing. And I think you're absolutely right there. I mean, the way that we should look at that, if somebody does ask a question, you know, and you think, oh, this person should know the answer to this before they own a reptile, then don't point it out and make fun of them, you know, either privately message them or message them in an educational way. You know, if that person doesn't know already, then tell them so that they can do right by the animal.
Yeah, man. And especially like people go, oh, you should have done your research before. Yeah, but we've all got excited, we've all jumped the gun, and we've all done stuff we probably shouldn't have done. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've done it. I bought a sulcata tortoise, but I saw it, I wanted one, and I was just like, I'm going to buy it. And then I'm sitting there texting Adam Radovich, how the fuck do I keep a sulcata? Because I know he's bred them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, he's kept them for a long time, so I know he's going to give me good advice. Now, I could have gone onto a sulcata group or a tortoise group and got all that information, but I'd have got my ass hounded. So, but I've done it. You know, I mean, I put my hands up and say that. What else we got coming up? Guys, slow down with the comments. I can't keep up.
Ambrose. This is a good one because it'll totally block Danny off. Those guys are groups of dog shot. I hate constant bickering, and for that, someone. So, what I've found in the hobby, and I really want to talk about this a little bit, is we are quick to jump on people that do the slightest thing wrong. They could have done 99% of their work right, and the 1%, and all of a sudden somebody will fly in, and it's an ego boost for them, as though to make themselves feel cleverer or better than that person, and all that good work that they've done has been totally disregarded, and that's one of the things that really winds me up.
Yeah, man, it's one of those, isn't it? And I do it sometimes. You posted some photos earlier for your new macro lens. And what I should have said straight away was, that was really good, Mike, really liked them. But instead, I went, next time, widen your aperture. You know what I mean? To get it all in focus. And then I was
you do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I can't help it. It's just that
I know you can't. You're an asshole.
But then it's like, that's really good. But even though I've said that's really good, you'd have took it better if I'd have said it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you are talking to people, just better.
It's how to deliver something. You can deliver the exact same response, but word it differently, and it will land so much easier.
You know, you've got What Gavin's
Plus,
saying.
he's only young. He still hasn't sussed that out yet. By the time he gets to my age, he'll be spot on.
Mike, I just don't care. There's a difference.
Well, I do. That's the
Gavin,
difference.
Gavin's saying, remember youngsters putting up pictures of their first reptile and getting abused for the type of substrate. Now, in this instance, that youngster has probably gone to a reptile shop and has been given the wrong advice, or they've gone out and bought a reptile privately and bought the setup themselves and not done their research. So rather than going and having a go at them, if you're more tactical about it and say it definitely is dying now, and say, okay, well, that substrate will do for now, but let's think about doing this instead because this is why. And when they go, well, the bloke in the pet shop said this, that, and the other, just say, look, I don't think the bloke in the pet shop maybe hasn't kept these before or doesn't know as much, but I think this is in your animal's best interest, and this is why. And kind of like talk to them, explain to it. If you do it that way, then it's not as abusive. What else we got coming in?
Also accept that there's not just one way of keeping. So if it's not your way, it doesn't mean you'll hound them and they're wrong. There's lots of different ways of keeping. So if it's not the same way you keep, it doesn't mean that they're in the wrong and you can hound them.
It's like Mike's actually became a proper keeper this weekend because he stopped using Aspen.
Do you know what, mate? I've used a mixture of lignosol and cocoa bark. I've used bark. I've used a whole host of different substrates over the years.
It's just personal preference, I hate that
if
stuff.
I'm honest with that, I prefer a mixture of two substrates, but the bark run out, so I only had lignosol left. So I've just put that in recently.
Yeah, so when you get rid of the coloured lights?
What coloured lights?
Are you getting rid of the coloured lights soon?
Oh, mate, they were only gimmicky things. They're only battery operated. They are.
Are they run out now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it gives it a certain ambiance.
Okay, I'm reading through.
Oh. Hey.
You know what, John? You are right. A lot of the younger keepers, or the more modern keepers, are putting the old school keepers to shame as they're more open-minded. However, that isn't outright. There are some older keepers that we need to be listening to because
fantastic.
Yeah. But I think regardless whether you're a young keeper or an old school keeper, you need to open your head and go, well, what's best for the animal, not what's best for me, and move forward and be progressive. And if
we have an advantage though. We're good we're better with technology and stuff like that, and obviously the younger generation move easier with the times and stuff like that. So if they're told that this needs UV and you have to supplement this, blah 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 blah, they're like, okay, cool, I'll go with that. Sometimes you tried telling a 60-year-old that, they're like, I don't know, I've been doing it this way this long, and it's
I've been trying to get my dad to listen to a podcast for 2 years now, and it frightens the life out of him. What's this podcast thing? Where you just press that button on your phone? Oh no, I don't want to do that. He thinks his phone will explode if he presses that button.
Yeah, your uncle
FM or AM.
Yeah, your uncle come round and he was like, I've subscribed to your podcast.
Oh, straight away. Yeah.
But again, it's different people. It's how people feel. I'll just keep my light.
That's all right.
It's fine. It looks fine.
It's
so ugly as hell. You just kicked it again.
Yeah, I did. But yeah,
because he can only just about get under that little tiny table of his. It's like one of them school desks.
I'm literally 3 foot away from it. I'm nowhere near the table. But yeah, so again, just be open-minded, because at the end of the day, it's not you that suffers. Actually, no, you do suffer, because when you don't listen, your animal dies and you've got to buy a new one because you don't want to tell people that it died because your ego's going to get hurt, your wallet hurts, and you hurt. So listen, be progressive, and do as you're told.
And if your animals haven't died for 20 years, it doesn't mean that there's not a better way to keep them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because again,
you still improve.
Yeah, talking to vets and whatnot, an animal can seem quite healthy from the outside, but when we open it up and it's got X, Y, and Z different things happening inside, then we realise, well, actually, I could have prevented that.
Well, the thing is, as well, is with reptiles, is they're the best in the world for hiding elements.
So here's an example. So you got Calvin. You just said that you got a corn snake on Aspen. Should you change the lignosol? You need to be doing your animal. So personally, I hate both products because it gets everywhere. You look at it and it just goes, and it does mad him.
So more from a cleaning point of view.
Yeah, so you've not got to worry about humidity as such with the corn snake. Room temperature, well, room humidity should be fine. However, if you wanted to have more stimulus or more enrichment, perhaps having a soil-based substrate with sand and other bits and pieces and leaf litter, that's dried out to the same humidity requirements that you need anyway. That can have more enrichment. You could give the animal more stimulus. So that possibly could be better. However, there are other ways of giving it more enrichment and stimulus. You could literally put leaves on top of the aspen. So that would send my OCD crazy because I can't do that. But
changing the tank around a bit as well. Just every now changing it around, move things about, move its branch, move its hide.
I don't really have a huge problem with them. The only issue I have with both of those substrates is that they mold too easily. They breed bacteria so fucking bad.
What does?
And they go moldy too easily.
What you say?
Aspen mostly. Aspen's really bad.
Honestly,
for it. Yeah.
I never spray my animals. You see, so I never worry about
fine.
that.
Can I just say, hello, dude? This is the man who took Rob out herping in Africa.
Oh wow!
Okay.
This is his guide. Hopefully, I might even going to try and pronounce his name. Hopefully, you didn't butcher it. Alpha. Hopefully, we'll be coming on the podcast soon and talking about what he does. I'm not going to go into too much details and give it away. But yeah.
So is Dare a field guide? Is he?
He's in Uganda, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a field guide. Lovely, really, really nice bloke. To look at.
Hoss has been having private conversations with him again, mate. With these people.
Look at his face.
Put him in the group chat, mate, so we all know what's going on.
Yeah,
we're going to have to slap him about.
Joe, again, Calvin, listen to Joe. Joe is like
the corn god. Yeah.
Give it opportunity to burrow. Why? Natural enrichment, stimulating.
Here's a good all-round substrate. So if you use topsoil, for me, when I buy topsoil, I'll buy it and I won't use it for 6 weeks. It sit outside, it will dry right out. Let anything that's in it
undercover then, yeah.
Let anything that's in it die off. If there is any insecticides in it or anything like that, let them die off. They won't last forever. Give it a month, they're all dead, mostly. And then for me, I just spray it down a little bit, just in a tub, just so there's a little bit of humidity, not too much, and then just a little bit. And a little bit of play sand, which you can get out of Tesco's or B&Q, wherever, really. Yeah. Play sand, it's like a $5 for a massive bag. Add sort of like, quarter of that to like a big tub. Mix it all together, a few little leaves and stuff, like Hoss was saying. If you want to clean them and bleach them first, go for it. It's not going to hurt it. Clean all them first, break them all up, push them all in, mix it all up, put it in your tank, and make it a good 3 or 4 inches deep, at least in some places. Usually in the warm end is better, because if they're in the warm end, then they can burrow in that, and it's really humid in there, so it's great for shedding. So do that, and if the soil, the sand, and the leaf litter, when you make a hole in that, it'll hold the burrow instead of collapsing.
Another really good product. I've not used ReptiChip, but it's very similar to Troppy Bed.
You like that, don't you?
I really like. The only downside to it, if it goes in your water bowl, it turns your water orange because of the husk. But it's still natural. It's not going to harm anything.
And drinks your water.
Yeah, don't drink your water. Yeah, it does a bit.
The husk will. It just absorbs. It's like a sponge.
Yeah, I really like that. It's really good for odor as well. I've been told that coconut products do mold quite easily, but I've never had any problem. But I'm always overkill on the ventilation anyway.
Coconut's a nightmare for it.
Do you know where I've just been? Right. I'll give them a little plug here. B&M, right? And they've got like these fine chippings for borders in the. So that's what I've just bought a bag of that, $4.99 for a humongous bag, right?
Yeah.
Massive 100-kilogram bag, I think it was, right? 100 kilo. No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be 100.
No, you can only bench 90. That's bollocks.
I can't. I can bench more than that.
That
I bench you,
weighs about 100 kilos.
Sorry, it wasn't.
I'm more than 100 kilos, mate.
What would that
Really?
be?
You fat
It was
bastard.
100 gram. It wouldn't be. No, it's more.
No, I think they're normally about 10,
100,
10
100
15.
litres, maybe 100
Oh,
litres.
it could be 100 litres. Sorry. Yeah.
Is it like a big square one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. Probably 100 litres.
So that was £4 something. They were selling humongous pieces of slate, right? So 2 big pieces like this for a £5, $2.99 each, or a £5 for 2. And then there was also
can't be doing that.
Then there was also bags of sort of like nice stones. So for a few quid, I've managed to sort of like totally change all my vibs round. You know, next to nothing really. Yeah.
And next time you're in there in B&M, you can get one of them hides buckets.
Oh, mate,
That's
I'm
over
going to
there
make
on the
some.
floor that I can't be bothered to go and get.
So
They're a quid.
David, impaction is a husbandry issue. Now, yes, it is. However, if your animal is healthy, no, I don't think species comes into it, because in the wild they don't live on fucking kitchen roll, do they?
No, they don't. No.
You know what I mean? So if your animal is healthy and the environment is correct to how it should be living in, you know, from a natural history perspective.
I'm watching where you're going with this.
Yeah, then it shouldn't be getting impacted. It should be able to pass what it's doing. If you're using products like calci sand that swell, you know, when water gets into them, then impaction is going to be difficult. But topsoil and whatnot, I really don't think that you'd have a problem with impaction. If your husband is correct.
Yeah, if it's natural and from the earth, then they're probably going to pass it fairly easily. I have seen a case. It was Dan Davis. His beardie didn't really necessarily get impacted. It wasn't really impaction, but I think he was keeping a beardie sterile for a little while because something was wrong with it. So anyway, he turned it on sterile, kept it on kitchen rolls.
Yeah, and it ate it.
And all it did is fucking grabbed a little bug or something, got the kitchen roll, ate the whole fucking thing, the whole sheet of kitchen roll, right, of kitchen paper, right.
Yeah, I remember that.
The fucking thing was that big, you know, and he's eating the whole thing, and the vet had to pull it out, and it was literally that fucking long, all rolled up. So, yes and no. It is husbandry. Yes, if it's soil and sand and stuff, they should be passing it fairly well if your husbandry is right. But if your animal's going to eat a big old piece of kitchen roll, then that is not passing that. Yeah, so you got to be really careful on what you're using, and you have to be aware of what animal you have. If that animal is likely to lick things, to taste them, to find out what they are, then you probably should not be using anything that it cannot pass. So if you've got like a blue tongue skink or a beardie or a Leo or something like that, you do not want to use kitchen roll. In my opinion.
I think the best thing as well, it's the reason why we've got the community. So if you aren't sure or you want to just run something by, doesn't matter how crazy it sounds, whack it in the community group. If someone starts giving you abuse, let us know and we'll deal with that. but you won't even get that far. And discuss. It's what we're doing today. You know, just discussing things and just like taking on what people think and making your own decision. Daniel Hall, do we have anything that we are particularly interested in for Doncaster? Children's pythons. Children's pythons,
Danny. I'm after a proven breeding pair of rough scale pythons for 200 quid. I'll snap your hand off.
Evening, Ross. And then Reese has got a ball python. He personally thinks it's small like a bark. You need to topsoil and sand would work, but more topsoil than sand. Ball python, I suppose it's really the same as carpet python. You've got humidity requirements. I I would use personally topsoil, leaf litter, bark, bit of sand, and bit of moss, and all kind of churn it up and just chuck it in. That's what I would do. Me personally.
Thanks.
Appreciate
it.
Have you got anything else interesting coming?
Oh, don't
in what
ask
way?
such personal questions. Oh.
Animal wise, or what we're doing with the show.
Yeah, so the show is just going to keep going and going and going and going.
We've got there's Hoss. If anybody knows Hoss, right, his brain's wired a little bit different to everybody else's. So we hear 100 different ideas on a daily basis. Me and Danny then choose the right ones that go that we go with.
Yeah. So, but if anyone's got any ideas for guests or any topics that you want us to talk about, or I do want to do these discussion things, which is the three of us live, and you guys can come in and have your questions. So anything you want to see us do, put it forward, because it's always good.
We know somebody who's got some Fiji iguanas. If you want some, somebody was saying,
yeah,
David, they are lovely. I'd be tempted if I was going to go for a lizard species. I would probably be speaking to Corey.
Definitely message Corey. I don't know if he's got any available, but definitely message him.
Yeah.
I think if I went for lizards again, especially like insectivore lizards, it'd be I'd be wanting to go for like Parsons chameleons.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah, big, massive.
Bigger,
don't fuck
they're
about.
the biggest.
Or green iguanas. No fucking about.
Victoria's got a good question. So, what's the best way to introduce a ball python? Firstly, stop there. Do one. It's not a ball python.
You already said that tonight, though, mate.
Which just lived in a rub since hatchling into a viv. She's got 2 babies, and she would like to eventually introduce them into vivariums. Go on, Danny.
Can I answer this one?
Go on then.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so if it was me personally, get the vivs.
I couldn't help it. Sorry, Dana. Go on, mate.
Oosa. Okay, so can I go? Can I go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, okay. I'm laughing that much. My spray tan's getting darker and darker as the show goes on.
So, okay, get the vivs first.
Is he gone?
Oh, that's not me. That's you. That was Hoss. Mate, that was Hoss, I swear to God.
That's how you
right, go on, mate. Go on.
No, because you'll do it again.
My hands are here.
Don't do it again.
Come on. We'll keep our hands up whilst you're talking.
You're only 2 hours up the road. I can still
look at the top size of Hoss's little hand.
Right, so shut the hell up, guys. Right, listen. This is important. So get the tanks first. Right? Listen, and as you when you're putting everything in the tank, as in all the lighting and substrates and all the logs and branches and stuff, etc., keep the tubs near, or do all that near where the tubs are, so they can sort of smell it all happening. They can smell the substrates going in. And they're like, oh, what's that? You know, and it sort of gets them interested. And then once you've got it all up and running, and bear in mind they're ball pythons, they like places to hide. They are quite sort of shy animals, if you will. Hence why they go up into a
hides,
ball. Anything. Well, that's why they go up into a ball, because it's like an instant defense. So yeah, there you go. Loads of them, but loads of cover, loads of branches, loads of hides and stuff like that. And then when you do introduce them, put the tubs in the tank. And just leave the lid off a little bit, you know, so they can come out when they want to come out, and they can go and find their own little hide.
That's exactly what I would do.
You know,
lots of cover. Literally, just whack the rub in, take the lid off. Loads of hides, loads of cover.
And for the first time,
yeah, and just let them.
For the first time, 100%, yeah.
Don't I'm not the cyclops.
Don't leg and a wing it.
I've got that stupid eye in my head as well, haven't I? Yeah, literally let the snake come out the rub themselves, and then for a few days leave that rub in there, and then eventually take it out. Just put the scissors away. What else we got? We're getting conscious of time as well because of
We got a podcast to do in 1 minute.
1 minute. I've got to set the
minute.
laptop up and everything. She didn't even tell me we had a fucking podcast.
I know.
What a fucking goon.
Okay.
I need at least 15 minutes.
Hi guys, I stumbled across the podcast not too long ago. A couple of buddies and I did something similar where we video chat interviews with hobbyists, breeders. Get in touch, guys, dude. Drop us either one of us a message or the page, and we'll see what we can do.
But Conrad, you have to be aware that by the end of your show, it will be called Reptile and Chill.
Right, yeah. So before you invite us on, you need to go on the From the Ground Down podcast. You need to talk to Joe what happened when we come on. So
hilarious.
Basically, we like to have a bevy or two. And by the end of his podcast, he couldn't actually do his own outro.
No, he was really drunk. But if you remember, they had technical issues and they dropped off the live feed. And we just turned it into Reptile and Chill. We were selling our merch and everything on their show.
Yeah, so just be aware that if that happens, we are going to take advantage of it.
Hell yeah!
Right. Anyways, I think that's about it for this week. Have we got time for one last question? You reckon? Or
one last question.
Right.
One more.
No one's gonna send anything in now, are they?
Can I just say, whilst we are waiting, thanks guys. You've been really interactive tonight, and do you know what? It's so much fun.
Run out of
content.
Luke Den,
awesome bloke. Loves us a bit.
Turn your fucking pictures over. Turn your fucking pictures over. Oh, I swear. I'm going. Every picture he doesn't turn over when he's got an orb in it, I'm going to report it.
Okay. Anyways, let's start wrapping this up then because everyone's gone to sleep. So this is not the podcast. A podcast is available to listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and most podcasting platforms. This is literally the live stream where we just fuck about. We don't. It's getting more and more. Well,
yeah, Danny.
As you can see,
so. Apparently, I'm the sensible one.
You know full well people turn up just to see.
Okay, you know what?
I think Hoss is more sensible than me. Do you, Danny?
I'm definitely the most sensible one on the show, and that's saying something.
What did that say?
Before we go
into reptiles?
Yeah, quickly go. Mike, as the oldest, don't even do it.
He's doing it. Goodbye, Phelps. He's still there, isn't he? He's got him out. Hey, shake it about. Shake it.
I'm doing the rest of the show like this.
Okay. So, Danny, how did you get into reptiles, mate?
I don't know. I'm not like the typical sort of got into them from an early age. I always liked them from an early age. And my dad's always been, or me and my dad, when I was growing up, we're always Attenborough fans. We was always watching documentaries and stuff. I was always into animals on a whole. But to be honest, I kind of fell into reptiles when I first got my Everglades rat snake. Because literally a friend was getting rid of him. He said, "Do you want a cool snake?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And it literally stemmed from there.
What about you, Mike?
The Animal Man, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, coming to school, and I saw these boxes. I actually watched him because where my classroom was, I could see him unloading stuff, and I was really interested. I've always loved animals, and he asked for a volunteer, and I knew when he pulled these big black boxes out that there was a snake in there or snakes in there, and everybody else, nobody had put their hand up. Me, straight away, put my hand up, and then I went round and I held, I think there was just 2 young common boas, like yearlings, and I had them, and he had this big Burmese round his neck, and we went round the lines of kids, and that was it. I was absolutely hooked, line and sinker. Wanted to stay for the next 10 years.
Yours are, relatively worthwhile. Mine's shit. I was absolutely scared shitless of them, and my younger brother wanted a reptile.
I remember.
Snake, and my parents basically called, our bluffs and said, look, you can have one, but your older brother's got to do it with you. And thinking, there's no fucking way he's going to do that. And I can't let him down, can I? You know what I mean? Like, he really wanted one. And,
Made up for it, so, mate.
Yeah, I mean, well, so yeah, so we went to a reptile shop and never held a snake before, and some other local ginger person put a big Burmese python around my neck, and that was it. Done. No, it wasn't Mike. Mike Conobear, Rattlesnake Canyon. And I never looked back. We bought a Brazilian rainbow boa. My brother doesn't keep anymore. I've got my brother to thank for it. All right, so that is about it for this week. I think it's about
Fuck
time we
you,
start
brother.
So we've got your brother to thank, haven't we?
Yeah, basically. Right, so we've done the whole "this is not the podcast" thing. So join us next week, 7 p.m. UK time on Wednesday for another live stream. The podcast will be out on Monday morning at 7 p.m. And if you want to help support our podcast for official Reptile and Chill merchandise, head on over to reptileandchill.com.
If you've got any cool projects or some cool animals that you think anybody will be listening, interested in listening, hearing about and looking at, message us and we'll get you on, because it's a great platform to showcase your animals and educate people as well.
Definitely.
Wait, ready? All three?
Yeah.
Ready? Go. Everyone, go on. Come on, Phelps. Yeah.
Come on, Oz.
Right, okay, guys. I don't know what they've been doing, but thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Good night. Love you, bye.
I can't believe you just ended that without us.
He hasn't. It's still live.
Yes.
Yay! We're on, Daddy.
Yeah. Woo!
Love you. Bye.
Fuck you, Hoss. Fuck you, Hoss. Love you. Bye.